Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni podcast.
Welcome everybody to the Black Oni podcast, episode 34. 34. You're actually not on 35 this time. I am joined today by two lovely guests, regulars on the Black Oni podcast. I have on one corner, the 1KK.
What up?
And the other corner, Soil, aka Soil.
What up?
Yeah, and I'm of course JBlaze06, and I'm wearing a fluffy hat. Because it is the winter time, and
see, I'll be back.
Can you see me? Can you see me, Kev? I can't see myself on my own screen.
I saw that fluffy hat.
You saw it earlier, but I can't. I don't see myself on my own screen, which I feel might possibly be a problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it doesn't even show my little thing here. I might have to start the call over because it's just not even showing up. Oh, wait, now my thing. My neighbor Totoro. Awesome. Kevin, can you see me?
I was jealous.
Kevin, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, cool. Because I can't.
You vanished for a second, but then you came back.
Okay, I can't see myself at all. So
weird.
Yeah, Skype is having some difficulties right now. Clearly. And
which is not uncommon.
Not uncommon. If you guys at home are wondering, I use Skype for these calls, and it has a tendency to ruin itself a little bit. So if you don't see me right now, I will... Okay, now my video is turned off. I didn't press anything. I didn't press a fucking thing. I don't understand what's going on. All right, what I'm going to try to do is start the call over and then see what happens from there, all right? We're going to do that.
All right.
So I can see myself now. I feel like I've made some progress.
And I'm here, if that counts. You're frozen on my screen, but that doesn't mean anything since we're recording off of yours. So.
Okay, you're frozen on my screen, so...
WTF right now.
Skype. All right, we're just gonna go through. So, Kev's got his My Neighbor Totoro hat /
It's a cloak.
Cloak? I was going to say cloak. That was going to be my next thing.
Yeah, it's a cloak, see? Oh, well, you can't see. I'm frozen. Right. Never mind.
So, whenever Skype decides to stop messing up, we'll get on with the rest of the show. But either way, your picture is still there, so I can use that.
Cool.
So, we will go right into our icebreaker by asking... Which gaming or comic character do you wish there was a badass figure or statue of?
I don't know.
Yeah, because, I bet 5 out of the 10 that I would name already have a figurine at least.
Well, name your first pick. There might not be a really good one. The thing is, they could be a figure or a figurine, but it might not be that good. It might
Nathan Drake.
Okay, there are a few really good ones.
Exactly. That's one. I mean, if I go again, Kratos.
I think there might be a few of Kratos.
There's got to be.
There's a few of Kratos. Yeah. Those are both really badass characters, though.
There's another one that I'm 100% fucking sure there's got to be one. The original guy from Doom. There's got to be one out there, though.
Guy from Doom statue.
Well, he's pretty.
If they didn't have one, oh my gosh, I know. It's generic enough.
It was always first person, so it makes sense that he'd be plain looking. But
I have an idea in my head of what he would look like.
He looks like Master
Chief. He looks like Master Chief, but
well, he looks like Master Chief, but dumbed down.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't say Master Chief because there's been plenty. There's been busts of his head already.
Oh yeah. There's been a lot of those. Let me open it.
So I can't. I don't know if I can answer that question. It's already been done.
instant message. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Yeah. Knee deep in the dead is what it's called.
How do I see this? I can't see that. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It's still badass.
What about you, Kev?
I read the Doom books back in middle school, back when Doom was still a thing that was coming out, and so I knew what he looked like from the covers, and that's pretty much it. Yeah,
it's still coming.
Yeah, it is still coming.
Well, yeah, but when they originally released, and I was excited because I don't know, but I don't know. Everything's already a figure, so it's hard to say.
Well, yeah, my answer was Nariko. Nariko has a little action figure version of herself, but it's not that good.
I thought she had a really good, bigger one.
I'm gonna look this up because if she does, I need this.
It was a difficult icebreaker.
It is a difficult icebreaker.
Maybe somebody really big. Oh no, but I saw this. I was gonna say like a giant dragon Flemeth, but I actually just saw that. Yeah, there's already one for everything I could answer.
All right, give me one of Michael, Franklin, and Trevor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that exists. I don't know if that one exists.
I doubt that exists, but that would be really cool, actually. I would be in full support of that. I think, there's someone, like a fan made a little statue of Nariko, but it's not like a professional grade statue of her. It looks pretty good for like a work in progress. I don't think that he ever finished it, but and I'll share the link with you guys. But if I could get like a really badass, beautiful, like deadly assassin-like costume for her, I would be really happy. Or statue of her, I should say, not costume.
Because that'd be kind of weird.
I mean, sometimes I just want to dress as Nariko. Sometimes I want to be a sexy, crazy...
Gay!
Gay! Okay. Well, we'll jump right into the rest of the podcast. I will ask, what are you guys playing? I know exactly what you guys have been playing, but I would like you guys to go ahead.
So much Dragon Age. So much Dragon Age.
And how is it? Because I'm still personally, I'm waiting on The Witcher because I wanted the Dragon Age, but I want to wait for that one instead. So how is it?
It's way different than the first two. They took a massive inspiration from Assassin's Creed, Far Cry to some extent, in that there's crafting materials all over the damn world, and you spend more time just wandering around doing random little quests and crafting than you do, and finding things than you do on the big story quest, which is much different than the way it used to be. But it's really good. I just did a mission that totally surprised me, so that was cool.
That is cool.
And it's also a mission that is you choose between one side and the other, and if you choose the other, you don't get this mission at all. So that's kind of cool. Yep.
That's really cool.
It involved time travel.
What? So yeah, that's fucking awesome. I haven't. Well, I'll let you guys go ahead. Go ahead. So yeah, you go ahead, Dave. I know what you've been playing.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
I think he got disconnected.
Well,
Sorry.
Sorry.
I've had 2 phone calls during this one podcast on a Friday night, which is surprising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to get some of that Dave action. Oh yeah. I hope I'm not keeping you from a lady friend. He's not.
No answer.
No answer.
He called me twice.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry. If he calls me a third time, I might have to take this. Sorry.
It's okay. It's
Anyway.
okay. I asked if I was keeping you from a lady friend, and then you didn't answer. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, I'm sorry.
It might be. But I was telling Will earlier that I literally cut my fingers open. I was bleeding playing Rocksmith tonight.
Nice.
I love that game to death.
Literally.
But besides that, I splurged. I double dipped this past Tuesday, and I got Far Cry 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been telling everybody since I got them, I'm on a nightly struggle to debate which game to play because they're both that good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. Both are beyond expectations for me. And for me, for Far Cry 4, just to put it in perspective, one of my friends who hates certain things that I like Sons of Anarchy or Grand Theft Auto 5, he hates that they re-released it, and The Last of Us he didn't enjoy, which was surprising. But he got Far Cry 4 as well.
Okay.
I'm only like 2 hours in, and he said he was like 30 or 40. And he said, I can't even trade this game in. I would rather keep it on my wall just so I have it to play at any other time.
That's awesome.
But both games are excellent. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I really want Far Cry. I really want that game. Not gonna lie. Like Kevin, I've been playing Dragon Age myself.
So good, right?
It's really good. I spent an obscene amount of time customizing my character.
Nice. Same here.
More time than I care to say out loud. But I think I might write an article about that, actually. Not specifically about me making a character, but just kind of in general our affliction towards characters in either game worlds or in comics or in movies and stuff like that.
What'd you go with?
I went with a human. I went with a warrior. I went with the sword and shield. I was going to do the two-handed sword, but I thought the sword and shield might be good.
You can change it up at any time. So.
I don't have a two-handed sword yet, so.
Oh, well, you could change it up at any time.
Eventually. But yeah, I haven't gotten that far. I maybe spent a few hours with it. I've been kind of busy this week, but I've been playing that. I've been playing Call of Duty still. I really enjoy
Forgot about that. Good call.
So good. I fucking love that game. I'm running with a assault rifle, running with either the BAL or the HB A1, I think.
Which they need to just fucking take care of the BAL. Everyone uses that thing.
Everyone uses it. It's an extremely potent up close personal weapon. It can do some damage from a distance as well. There are other weapons that are better at a distance than that, but it's like the perfect round overall weapon. I mean, I've had a lot of success using other weapons too. So at the same time, I understand that people feel it's unbalanced and overpowered, but like I use the other weapons and like fuck shit up too. So wow. I don't know. I've been playing a little bit of Sunset Overdrive. I'm enjoying that game too. It's a lot of fun. It's silly as hell, and I think I mentioned it before on a podcast or in our podcast chat that it's got like a very Scott Pilgrim / Tony Hawk / type of thing. So,
which intrigue. Well, you said that last time. It begs me to ask the question though: is it worth an Xbox One?
No.
Oh,
it's not worth. That is a really cool action figure. Actually, it's not worth buying an Xbox One just for that game. But I think if you have an Xbox One, you should have that game. You should definitely have it if you already have one. I wouldn't go out and buy one just for it.
Kind of like Infamous.
Right. Infamous in its own is I think is a fantastic game. It's not
I wonder
perfect.
how the DLC is.
Me too. They're actually making that for free for PlayStation Plus members next month. Oh, not next month, in January.
I know it's big. Like I know it's pretty gigantic.
Yeah.
But then again, like the game itself was tiny, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was tiny in the sense of like certain open world games, but it wasn't that small. I mean,
I finished it in a weekend, twice. I platinumed it in one weekend. I platinumed it.
It's pretty easy to get through. Yeah. It's kind of short.
All right, I'll give you that. Kev, the 1KK actually just shared an image of the Fallout New Vegas.
The Yes Man.
That's
my answer to the question. I thought about it for a while.
I think that'd be a really cool statue. I'm not gonna lie.
You could even give it an actual like little face that you can
You can switch between.
Like he could be battery powered. He could be like a clock too. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yep.
Make them functional and shit.
Yep.
I support that.
So action figure people, get it.
And yeah, I think those are mainly the games I've been playing. Andy, the new Prince, actually just gave me a few codes for an Xbox game. It's let me bring up what it's called. I forgot what it's called already. But I will be giving out some codes to people, either listening to this. I'll give out one code for people listening to this, and then one code, a couple of codes in a giveaway coming up. And also, there is a giveaway that we might be doing very soon on the Black Only channel as well. That Kevin so graciously, had the idea of giving out. So,
yep, it won't be good stuff. I have a box of random crap, but it's fun crap. So, and it includes a copy of Street Fighter 4 Arcade for PC. So that is a prize.
That is a legit prize. I would love that. I mean, I already have
my PC can't run that.
That is why it's a prize.
And for you guys at home, I'm going to say out loud with my mouth. One of the codes. The code is for a game called Kalimba. It's a very cerebral puzzle style game on Xbox One. It's an indie title. So the number / letters are P as in pussy.
Pussy.
Q, D as in dog. H, P as in pal. 2, M, 7, 4, J, T, 2, X, K, V, K, T, V as in Vex from Destiny. X, K, R, W, P, F, Z. And it's really strange because the Xbox interface and to put the codes in, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 sets of 5 different digits that can be in there, and on PlayStation it's 3. I don't understand what the extra
12, right?
Yeah,
4, 4, and 4.
Come on, what the fuck?
Or maybe at max 15, 5, 5, and 5. But I think it's 4, 4, 4.
It might be 4, 4, 4.
Yeah.
And I was having some difficulties originally when I was trying to download Sunset Overdrive on my console. I was having difficulty putting it in because I didn't realize that the code had 2 things you had to scratch off, and so I was downloading the DLC thinking that it was a game. I was like, "Where's the fucking game?" And I finally figured it out. But yeah, Xbox One is weird.
I also like that you just did that, so it's like a first person to hear this gets it, and then everybody else is going to waste the time putting in the code.
Because it takes so long to put that in there.
Yeah, it's a race. If you're listening to this,
listening, you better get on that right now. The game looks really cool. It looks hard as fuck though. But I will likely be doing a little bit of a let's play, and shout out to the devs for that one. I can't even remember who the devs are. But shout out to the devs and shout out to New Prince Andy Lunick for getting those codes, and there will be more codes to give away at a later date, but not right now. Right now I'm just going to, god damn it, Kalimba game, Xbox One game. So when I type in Kalimba, it gives me all this other shit.
Weird.
It's a very specific word,
right? You would think so. I guess this place is the dev is called Press Play. So shout out to Press Play for making a really cool looking game. Anyway, we'll move on to some more other crazy things. The latest / new game releases have been the following.
So many.
These are just some of them. These aren't even all of them. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Awesome.
It's very great. Kev, have you jumped back into that at all?
A little bit. It's okay.
It's more fun with friends. I'll definitely say that.
I'll play it with you guys, but that's probably it. That's why I bought it. I know I don't like Call of Duty games, so
And I love them. That's why I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Lego Batman 3.
Probably good,
Probably
Yeah, probably
really
awesome.
good. Yeah.
especially if you've got a family. That is a great family game.
I have Lego Marvel superheroes. Actually, that's a great game.
Yep.
Rocksmith 2014.
Which is awesome on last gen, so it's probably awesome on current gen.
That's right. The Unfinished Swan on the PlayStation 4.
Awesome game.
It's really cool. It's kind of like dark a little bit though.
I don't know why you need it on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
Graphics really aren't much, but
because they needed to re-release it. That's why.
Yeah, they just
well,
wanted
it's free if you already bought it. That's the thing. So like,
oh, that's good to know.
they're not
That's-
making money off of it.
I mean, they're
Except
making
for any
money off
new
the people who didn't
purchases.
buy a PS3.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they probably spent more money than they're making on that though.
Sony probably paid them.
Yeah.
Like I think Sony paid them to bring Flower, just sort of to have it on their catalog.
Flower's so awesome. MX versus ATV. Yeah. You know, those are fun games. Football Manager 2015. That's right up your alley, right there.
I can't help but notice that you're not mentioning other AAA titles, and
Not yet.
you're
Not yet.
going with some weird ones.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to go a little ambiguous before you get to the other crazy shit. All right, you ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Unity, which, you know, has some issues.
It has some issues, but I mean, I've been browsing the forums just because I didn't pick it up and I'm still interested. And some people on Xbox One and PS4 are saying, look, it's not as bad as most people make it out to be. It is still a really good game.
Right, I've been hearing that too.
So, despite the issues and the people missing faces, which is still ridiculous,
Yeah.
like, I hear it's a good game. But it's not going to compare to Black Flag for me. That's the other thing everyone talks about.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be as good as that. Assassin's Creed Rogue, which was a last-gen release on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
I'm curious to see how it does.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, I haven't really heard too much about it. I heard some people saying it was better than Unity. Not technically in terms of like its visuals or anything, but like in terms of the gameplay mechanics and the story. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine how like a co-op version of Assassin's Creed wouldn't be better than anything previously done.
Sure.
But if it doesn't work well, then I guess that would be why. Halo Master Chief Collection,
Which has had matchmaking issues for at least the first few days or week it was released.
No, it's still having matchmaking issues.
Still.
That's It is
Well-
the time we're recording this. It is Friday, November 21st.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and it's still having issues.
That's sad.
And we're gonna actually talk about this a little bit further into the podcast. But you know that's becoming a common theme. GTA on next gen. Oh, I've been playing a little bit of GTA as well. I took advantage of the Target deal that you can trade in your last gen version for $30 towards the purchase of the next gen version. So
I've been loving that more than the other next gen release you haven't mentioned yet.
is it on here?
It's on there.
Okay. GTA. So Dragon Age Inquisition.
So good.
Very good. Far Cry 4.
That's the one.
Wait, that's not a port.
No, I said other next gen game.
Oh, right. Okay. That's.
So
I don't,
also,
wait, that's not on current gen, is it? Is it on PS3 and 360?
I think so.
Oh, my mistake.
I think.
I just want to point out that you just called current gen PS3 and 360, and like 2 minutes ago you called current gen PS4 and Xbox One.
Thank you for correcting me.
Well,
I'm still getting
I
used
mentioned
to it.
last year that like it was weird that it was next gen, even though it was out for several months.
Right.
I
And
still
I
have
think
that
we're
tendency.
still in limbo. It's weird.
We're still in that transition where we're still calling it next gen, whereas it's current gen technically.
What do we need for it to be current gen? Do we need that like slated amazing title like Gears or Uncharted on either system to actually call it current gen again?
I think
Is that
people
what we
just need to
need?
get used to calling it current gen.
Yeah, I think it's basically once like games stop releasing, other than like low end ports,
That's not going to happen for at least another fucking year. They don't stop, man.
They don't. They don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records, we get down, baby. We get down.
But the releases on the older systems do tend to get kind of crappier.
They do.
So.
All right, I'm gonna try something real quick because you're still not even like showing up on my screen as like a person yet.
Me?
Yeah, like it's just showing like a little loading screen for me for like you and like your giant face. Let me try hanging you up and then calling you back.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep going because that's just how we're gonna roll in Black Oni channel. Smash Brothers on the Wii U.
I'm so excited.
Wait, so that's out right now, right?
Came out today, yeah.
Which is weird. It's on a Friday.
Start playing it yet?
Nintendo games are always on a Friday.
That's right. You did say that.
For a while they were on a Sunday, which makes no sense, but now they're always on a Friday.
Did you start playing it?
I am waiting for Christmas.
Ah.
Even though I apparently already paid for one at a GameStop and need to go to GameStop and tell them I'm not actually buying it, despite the fact that I already bought it.
Well, yeah, perhaps that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard pretty good things about Smash Brothers on the Wii U. You know, it's kind of hard for them to screw up on that, I guess.
Yep.
And so we're going to transition right into the gaming news.
News
you care about. We gotta have like little segments with transitions and shit for all this stuff. So there is a possible trademark filed for Battletoads. Don't know if you guys heard about that.
For Xbox One, and Sony guys are left in the cold.
Left in the cold. And
I remember.
you know, it's a rare property, so it kind of makes sense. But it also sucks because, you know, anyone who doesn't have an Xbox One is going to miss out on that game. And for a lot of us, especially the more nostalgic gamers, that was like a very prominent game back in the day, you know?
Well, I mean, personally, I'm not going to be that left out in the cold for it.
Yeah.
That's cool. They get something, but
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite games we've already breached it for Rare specifically, if they ever did it, if they remastered GoldenEye specifically for the Xbox One, I would have to go get one. I would have to. I would re-buy that system.
That would make. I'm really surprised they haven't done that yet.
But no, they won't. They won't.
I'm
There's
actually,
no way.
Now that you mention it, I am dumbfounded to the point where I'm like starting to wonder, like they spent all that money acquiring Mojang, but they didn't give any second thought to like re-releasing or remastering or gold. I mean, that's a gold mine right there. No pun intended.
I would. I mean, and you know me. Kevin knows how I went through the Xbox One cycle. If they ever did that, I would go buy one tonight. That's how badly I would get it. Or want it.
Yeah. Even if they just announced it, you would just get it now?
Yes. Just to wait. Like, if they gave me a specific release date and said, this is what we're doing, this is the exact date we're shipping it on, I might even wait for gold status just to be sure. But I would definitely get one.
I was going to say, either wait till gold status or wait until they bundle it, because you know they would.
No, they wouldn't. They're not that smart. They're not smart enough to make it.
I mean, they're also not Nintendo where they bundle every big release.
True.
This is true.
Or at least, yeah. I mean, Sony does too, but they don't do it internationally as much. So
Microsoft
it's varied on both.
Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and Unity. They've been bundling Sunset Overdrive. They in Europe they're bundling 5 AAA games. I think it might have been Sunset, Forza, Titanfall, and like Assassin's Creed and some other shit. Like,
that's why they're selling so fast. How much money does that fucking cost?
They are selling a lot because of that. And like, to their credit,
Jeez.
like they're doing what they need to get this in people's houses. But like, the bottom line must be really fucking struggling right now.
They're waiting to drop that next one.
It was doing really, really, really badly in Europe. So like, if they didn't get it into people's houses, developers would be very hard pressed to make European editions of games at all.
Right.
Yeah.
For Xbox One.
That's true. this might be like one of the biggest comebacks as a direct result of that. But that short term, this was like a really smart thing. But in the long term,
oh no,
who knows?
Oh no,
I don't know. And speaking of, that's a perfect segue. I wish my name was something like Greg, so I can say Gregway, like just to transition into that. But the Xbox,
it's a will way.
The will way. The Xbox One is now available for $350, excluding any additional sales that you'll see on Black Friday and the other bundles that retailers are putting out right now.
Plenty of deals. Check them out online.
So many deals. If you guys at home on iTunes and YouTube are following Black Only Facebook page, you will see literally at least 4 posts that are specifically pertaining to deals on the Xbox One. Like, they have gotten so aggressive with their marketing that I can't look at deals and like not see something Xbox One console related.
First few pages in the GameStop ad.
Yeah. And again, I mean, this is great for consumers because they can get their console. Like you can spin it to get your console for like $200 if you're really savvy enough.
I'm just waiting for Sony to counter.
I don't think they need to.
I think they might for Black Friday.
They will for Black Friday. They might need to at least do
and
something.
I think they will
Friday,
until like from Black Friday until Christmas. I think they will. It probably won't be a long term thing, but I'm guessing it'll be like sales at major retailers pretty constantly.
Do you think it would be anywhere near as aggressive as the Xbox One in terms of like, the Xbox One has the bundles and the price cut?
I don't think
no.
I don't think they'll be able to do the bundles because they haven't set that up yet. But for like price cut, I think that they'd have to, at least have sales because they want to get that into people's houses for the holidays. So.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. I'm really excited to see kind of how things transpire because we're seeing the Xbox One bounce back in terms of numbers in the U.S. But I'm wondering if that is enough to solidify their spot for a month.
I don't know.
Like, I know for weeks they've been outselling the PlayStation 4, not by much though, and that's the other thing that's kind of like crazy. It's like they finally started outselling the PS4 with all of these things that they're doing now, but it's really not by that much.
Yeah, and it's going to bite into their retention rate because now like people don't need to buy any games for like 6 months. That's least.
Really true. I didn't think about that.
You really don't want a console without a retention rate, or else you have the Wii.
Vaporware. Ugh. I hope you guys got a chance to check out Overwatch. That was announced at BlizzCon this year.
Which, to me, is still just a PC exclusive. I haven't heard a console whispering yet.
It is.
Go ahead.
It is Blizzard. They do mainly just work with PC. So,
right.
But
Blizzard also worked on the console version of Diablo.
Yeah, like a year later.
No, more like 3 years later.
Yeah, like 3 years later, and then a year later for the expansion.
Yeah, all right.
They don't work on simultaneous release for console. They work on PC.
This is true.
But they do shine at that. They do.
Yep.
They do a really good job when they do it. They just take a little while to.
Hearthstone's really fun. Like I've been playing that a bunch, so it is really fun.
Is that on consoles?
No, it's only on PC and Mac. PC, Mac, and tablets.
Okay.
I've been hearing about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's up for a few of those Game Awards this year.
Yep, it's a card game. It's a really good example of like a freemium model in that like you can unlock more stuff. It just takes forever. And you can play like without better cards because it matchmakes you against people with like equivalent stuff for the most part.
Right.
But like you still always feel that urge to just buy more stuff.
I mean that's I guess a pretty good way to get people involved. I mean,
yeah, it's nice in that you don't have to buy the cards. Like
right.
That's what I'm saying. Like you feel like you should, but you don't have to on like a lot of free games.
Right. Again, another great thing about Warframe is it never makes you feel like you have to buy things. I haven't played Warframe in a long time, but I still miss it sometimes.
They updated that recently. They
Oh
added some
yeah.
new features. Yeah,
Yeah, don't they have like jetpacks now?
something about Arcane. I remember reading it online, either abilities or a new weapon that you got access to. And I mean, I wrote off Warframe a long time ago, but they have continually supported and made this game something more than it was when it first launched. So
Yeah.
I mean, cheers to them and it's free.
It's fucking free
too.
It's free as fuck.
I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I hope they continue doing well because this model can work for a lot of developers. You just have to be committed to the idea of like doing it right. And we talked a little bit about where the Xbox One is in terms of the PlayStation 4 and it where its sales are starting to catch up a little bit. And EA is one of those companies that most people hate. And Microsoft, in a lot of ways, is another company that people have become more attuned to hating. They have like a really strong partnership, especially this generation. They believe that the Xbox One is catching up to the PlayStation 4 in the US.
Yeah, but that's still only in the US, and that's the problem.
It's still
Right.
stipulation.
That's
them inflating numbers.
I heard that the Xbox One did outsell the PlayStation 4. Was it last week or the week before that?
For the month of October, the PlayStation 4 still beat them, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
the last number that Microsoft released was what, like 10 million?
that was how many they shipped to retailers.
That they shipped to retailers. I still have yet to hear an official number from them, while PlayStation 4 is still claiming, what, 14 million? 15?
I don't know what they said their numbers were right now. Let's see.
It was somewhere in the teens. I remember that.
Yeah, it was definitely in the teens. It was either 10 million. Oh, shit. Hold on. So in August, the PlayStation 4 sales topped 10 million worldwide.
Yep.
That was in August. It is now November. Let's see. Xbox One outsells PS4 past 2 weeks. So it says Microsoft console approaching 10 million shipments. Let's see. PS4. See, I haven't been able to find anywhere that said specifically how many the PlayStation 4 has sold since the August announcement.
It might be hard to process. Like, it might take time because there's a lot of different ways that you sell things, and like,
right,
those people don't report to Sony until they order more stuff.
Okay, yeah. That is true. That's a really good point.
And ultimately, they don't necessarily have to report to Sony how many they sold. They just order however many more they need.
Right.
Which is probably not accurate right now because they're ordering more for the holidays.
Right.
Which also is the problem with the Microsoft statistic.
Which is probably one of the biggest reasons why they haven't given any hard numbers about that. Oops, number of...
Makes me want to call it like another month or two from now after holiday sales. Microsoft will release a number that equivalated to their holiday sales.
Which will skew it to make it sound like they're doing really well, but it would be really strange if they didn't do at least fairly decently during holiday season.
Sony will report in January or February next year how many total consoles sold.
Right. So they said on Friday they sold 13.5 million units of the PlayStation 4 4 days ago.
That was close.
Yeah, so that is... They're selling at least 1 million per month.
Which is nuts.
That's worldwide? Or is
I believe that's worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, PS4 dominating sales in Germany with 1 million units. Sold already, yeah, so they're gonna keep going, I think. I'm really wondering if the aggressive price cuts and marketing strategies are going to make the Xbox One more attractive to people than the PlayStation 4 this holiday season. I mean, technically, the Xbox One has more critically acclaimed games out right now. I don't know if that means people will like those games more overall, but in terms of critical reception and the what reviewers are saying. I think next year will be a very different story.
Possibly.
Possible. Anyway,
I mean, I think the problem with the Xbox One for quite a while is that there hasn't really been like much on the horizon.
there's Forza Horizon. Ha ha. Yeah, it's they have Gears coming out. You know, they have Fable. They have the Garden of Ogre.
I was thinking Ori and the Blind Forest.
That was it.
That's early next year.
Garden of Ogre. What is that?
Which I am jealous that they have that as an indie exclusive. It's not fair again, but whatever.
Yeah.
It will be on PC and Mac.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have a PC.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's my next investment.
Yeah.
I think it's on PC and Mac. I think I read that.
It probably is. I would assume so.
At least PC. It's a Windows product.
Right. What else do they? They have Halo 5, of course. They have whatever Rare is cooking up. Whatever Mojang is cooking up, and they have Quantum Break. They have that game.
Crackdown.
Crackdown. All right, I'm actually looking forward to Crackdown. Yeah.
They got a few.
They got a few more coming. I think.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about the PlayStation shit that's coming.
The Order.
See, that's the thing though. I don't know if the order is going to be any good because a lot of the previews for it make it sound like it looks really cool, but like it's boring as fuck.
The story is really cool.
I need the controller in my hands to make my own decision.
Right. This is true.
The story is really cool. I'm just worried it's also going to be really short because it kind of sounds like it might be another Dishonored, where it's really cool, but I finish it in 5 hours.
6 or 7 for me.
Yeah.
Well, you beat that game in 6 hours?
It's not. Yeah, it's not that long. I mean, you can get through it pretty quickly, especially depending on your play style. You could drill that game in less than 5 if you wanted to.
God damn.
Yeah. Without even trying to speed run, you can probably do it in 5 hours.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but it was a fun game in its own right. It was unique.
Yeah. I don't know. I like games when they're not that short, unless they're a lot less expensive.
Right. When it came out, it was $60. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't get it when it was $60.
I did.
I did too.
So we're going to move on to the final phase of the Black Only podcast, episode 34, Advanced Warfare, Sunset Overdrive, Overwatch, Agenda, etc. Do you guys have any guest topics that you'd like to embed into the podcast?
Yeah, I got one.
Go for it.
Uh-oh. I'm worried about this.
Yeah, because
You were a little too enthusiastic.
I'm either worried or excited.
because I was bleeding playing this game earlier tonight, and on the PlayStation 3 version, they do not yet have the new Foo Fighters DLC, and I am personally pissed the fuck off because PlayStation 4 and other next-gen consoles have had it and been rocking it for the past few days.
Why don't they have it on the last gen?
From my understanding, it's because the PlayStation Store only updates every so often. And they've had issues lately, as I read through you guys earlier today.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know when the fuck I'm getting this. I might have to wait until Tuesday-ish when they update the PlayStation Store again.
And
so
that's
I'm
even
quite
if they do, because
pissed
that's
off.
holiday week.
Yeah. So I'm
they'll update it. It just might be small, but yeah.
it's like 5 songs. Just give them to me.
Sony, if you're listening to this, which you obviously are because everyone's listening to the Black Only podcast, fix your shit.
Please.
Please.
That's the only thing I had to say. I had to tell somebody.
There you go.
And you brought up something interesting, though, about a hack through the 2K servers and Windows Live, which services Microsoft Xbox Live, and apparently the PlayStation Network as well. All of these services have recently got hacked again, and a bunch of passwords and information were leaked to whoever. So if you're listening to this, change your password on most of your things. Maybe use there's this app called 1Password. I use that for a lot of things, and it's a very secure, heavily encrypted service. Maybe use that. And then use just completely random passwords for everything. That way, if something gets compromised, nothing else gets compromised. That would be my advice to people who want to prevent this kind of bullshit from continuing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And be smart. Like if you're gonna use only a limited number of passwords, because honestly, nobody wants to remember 200 passwords or have to use an app. So if you're only going to use a limited number of passwords, rank them in order of importance. So what I do is I have 1Password that's all my stuff where if it gets compromised, not really a big deal. Mm-hmm. Stuff that doesn't have access to my credit cards, and then everything else has separate passwords. So think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are tools out there to help you manage those passwords, so you don't have to remember each and every one of them.
Exactly. And don't send nudes. That's a bad idea.
Or else you're going to end up on the internet and TV.
Yep. Just don't do it. Just do what do it old time. Take actual pictures with a camera, get them printed. Deal with the awkwardness at Walmart or wherever you're getting your film processed. If people still do that,
although to be fair,
I think
if
I might
you
already be
record
screwed on that
anything,
department.
if you take a picture, if you videotape it, if you have an audio motherfucking recording, you are liable to whoever picks that shit up.
That's why I'm saying just go physical. It's if somebody wants a physical copy, they actually have to break into your house and take it. They can't just log in wherever they are and get access.
It's a lot more effort.
If you motherfuckers want to see me naked that badly, I don't give a fuck. Just saying.
So watch those nudie Judies.
Yeah, security is we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about it. Before we do that, Kev, do you have anything that you wanna?
I'm good.
No nudie duties. And so, the Halo Master Chief Collection, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and Drive Club have all been having issues with connectivity. And this kind of brings me to the point of the whole security thing with, the systems and infrastructures being hacked. Is this going to be the generation that is defined by its inability to handle all the traffic and all the network infrastructure?
I think that's been going on since the internet started. It's just right now we have way more people accessing high-speed data. So it's pretty much just a constant issue of not having capacity to deal with everything or having your data compromised.
And way more ways to communicate about it.
Right, right. Twitter is a thing.
Yeah.
It is indeed a thing. By the way, if you guys at home are not following us on Twitter, I can be found at BlackOnly6. Kevin can be found at I forget exactly.
I don't really use Twitter much, so
I do.
And Soil aka Soad can be found at
D-Train Unchained. I love my Twitter tag.
Do I have you added on Twitter, dude?
No, I don't think so.
God damn it. It took us this long to add fucking D-Train
Unchained. Like Django.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Because people call me D-Train.
D-Train.
Although not usually on the podcast.
See, now that's going to be your new thing. That's going to be your new name. All aboard the D-Train. That sounds like the Dick Train.
My D-Train.
My D-Train.
Although also, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's where Peter Parker goes to find his dad's underground lab where he stores all that data and that recording. It's on the D-Train. That's right.
Girl, you want to come aboard the D-Train?
That really doesn't sound pleasant,
that might be subjective.
I'm pretty sure
It's a
there are,
ride, but you might not enjoy it. But you might enjoy it.
But you might enjoy it. You might.
there are very special websites for that.
Good times.
Like that's one of the ones that doesn't have a YouPorn category. It's so intense.
I think that I don't know. I mean, there might be an influx of people who do end up like later on, 5 years from now, end up remembering this generation for like having the most connectivity issues, like out the gate type of thing,
And that's a spoiled generation, man.
It is.
They should be remembering it about. I mean, even for the remasters of the games we get, like The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto and whatever, they're seeing visuals that we never saw before, and frame rates that we didn't think were capable, and new improved functionality, and new stories being told on top of that with all the other next gen current gen releases that we get. Like,
you're not wrong. I think either way is acceptable. I think anyways, continue. Sorry.
No, I just hope they're not looking at it in a negative light. Is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
I just don't think the problem's going to get better. Because as we advance in technology, we're going to be connecting in more and more ways, and that's just going to make the problem worse. And we don't have the infrastructure to support it. So we're always going to be behind in infrastructure. So we're never not going to have connectivity issues in the foreseeable future.
That's true.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Not unless we have a gigabit internet service throughout the entire nation, and hopefully most of the world.
Yeah, and the U.S. is
last,
really last in the highly civilized world. Yes,
Right.
in terms of internet, and we pay the most for it.
We're not
It's
last.
insane.
I mean, we still have high speed internet. We're not last, but
That's why I
compared to
said the
rest of
highly
world,
civilized world.
Yeah.
Highly civilized world.
True that.
Japan, Europe. Most
They're kicking our asses.
Yeah.
Canada.
Oh yeah. UK. Oh man. Shit isn't even funny.
And our
Hate you
cell
guys.
service too. We also get a lot less cell service, and we pay a lot more for it.
Yeah, we get throttled, and we get limited amounts of data we can use. They can use as much of the fuck they want.
Yep.
America, fuck
yeah.
Coming again to charge your Roman charges. Yeah.
Are the gaming press and Metacritic a bit more irrelevant now? How do people nowadays determine if a game is good?
I sniff it in the store, and if it smells good, I buy it.
So what we need to do is just spray a little bit of a cologne on what's that fucking game? Ride to Hell Retribution.
There you go.
No, I would still snip that out.
I don't know. I think the gaming press is going through a bad time. I think that they'll come back. I think people will trust them more eventually. Yeah. I think that it's sort of it's always sort of been. Games are subjective in a way that other media isn't, because everybody experiences things way differently than they would even a movie. Mm-hmm. So I think it's always been a situation where if you really want to know about a game, you have to do your research and read multiple angles before you make a decision. So I don't think that's really changed. Okay, I think maybe people are just more likely to do that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So...
It's just with all the recent bullshit recently, the Gamergate and the stupid headlining topics of harassment and sexual harassment.
Then there's the whole situation with Shadows of
the lies
and
lies and slander.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
But I'm gonna go with Kevin. Eventually, over time, and I'm still no. I used to adopt this fantasy of looking at that game for myself, of looking at the previews and the screenshots and maybe a review or so. Mm-hmm. But even if I didn't see that, just picking up the game for myself and getting my own opinion if it's something that I wanted to play.
Right.
Yeah. And you mentioned Metacritic. I think Metacritic's still very good too if you look at the user side. If it's something that's been out for long enough that it's not just all people who love the game or hate the game without playing it.
If you get a couple hundred scores in there, which is what Metacritic does, I mean, and if it's at like an 85 or a 90, I'm going to pick that game up.
Exactly.
Yeah, enough people kind of deciding and saying that a game is either good or bad. It's really skewing when a game first releases to see that, because it's very...
Well, I mean, and reviews are up there before the game even releases often, like user reviews. And you'll read them, and it will be like, I'm looking forward to this game so much. And you're like, that's not a review.
I remember seeing an Amazon review for the Xbox One. It was so fucking funny. It was like, so the Xbox One is about to release. I really like French fries. Based on my evaluation of how good the French fries I had were last week, I'm assuming the Xbox One will be kind of like that. So I'm giving the Xbox One a 5 out of 5.
Nice.
It was legit just like that. I was like, this is the best thing ever. I think I might have screenshotted it somewhere, and it's somewhere on my computer. It was just so good. It was so fucking good. Yeah, I always like to say it's really interesting to think about how like, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 versus Modern Warfare or another Call of Duty game that was the one before it that most people agreed wasn't a better game, was a worse game than the new one, but the Metacritic or the score that some sites would give it would be it would be lower than they originally gave the last game. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But I think Metacritic and Gaming Press, again, like you guys said, they're just having a really rocky time right now. And I don't know what it'll take to get people to trust Gaming Press specifically again. But there's some people who like to make the argument that like this stuff was never relevant at all. But I would definitely argue against that they've been relevant for a very long time, and people get up in arms about certain things like this.
I think they've been less relevant than critics of other genres because it's such a subjective thing. So I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah,
but you need something with universal praise or hate. You need something that everyone likes, and then when Metacritic has that, I'll say it a 90 at a minimum. Like, if it happens, The Order, or the new Gears game, or the new Uncharted.
Right.
If it maintains that with that several hundred user base, and people see that for a game of that prolific like stature, and they buy it themselves and play themselves and go, yeah, but they're fucking right. I think that they'll gain that notoriety back. I think they will.
Yeah. I mean, also, if you find an individual critic, like if you find a reviewer whose scores you tend to agree with, then like you can understand that they have similar tastes to yours, and then you can continue to read their reviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the problem with it being so subjective, is that like we all think differently about games.
Right. You have to find someone that you...
We were just talking Call of Duty. You guys love it. I play it. I don't hate it.
Oh, I know you don't love it. It's okay.
Well, no, I'm saying like it's a good game and I can appreciate its merits, but I don't find it fun.
That's all right.
And that's the issue with games.
That's true.
I do.
I want to take a second real quick to shout out my homegirl, Bailey. She is someone I work with at work, obviously. And she was like, hey, what's going on, blah, blah. She's on crutches right now because she messed up her foot. So I told her that I was having a podcast and it was going awesome. She's like, I can't wait to see it. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm going to shout. Oh, I probably shouldn't put the number on that. I'm going to shout you out so that people know. Bailey's awesome.
What up?
What up? And we'll move on to... Okay. So, we've been talking about this for a long time about how the PlayStation 4 typically outperformed the Xbox One in pretty much any game. We just found our first game that runs better on the Xbox One versus the PS4.
I remember I made you specify.
Yes, you made me specify. It was the Assassin's Creed Unity.
But it doesn't run well on either.
Right.
It doesn't run well on any of them. It doesn't even run on a PC with high-end graphics cards.
Yep. And you pretty much nailed it right on the head right there. I think, people on either camp, they'll get up in arms about these statistics or these certain things, and they'll say, it's going to run better. It's like, guys, it's a problem in their development cycle if the game doesn't run on a high-end PC. Like, you can say what you want about it, like, it runs better on Xbox One. Okay, sure, but it's still...
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna... Congratulations. You got one game right that fucking sucks on all platforms. Good for you.
I really appreciate their thought. Like, we're going to only develop this for like next gen systems and for like PC, and we're not going to try and just make like a prettier version of the same game that we're releasing on another console. I really appreciate that. But I just wonder at what point during development were they like, wow, our ideas don't work. But then I
felt that bitch slap from here.
Then they just kept going. Like, at some point it had to happen.
And they just played it off like everything was fine,
Yeah. It's more cinematic. It's fine.
It's more cinematic.
Yes, because lower than 15 frames per second is fine.
Next time one of my students fails a paper, I'll just write on it, it's fine. It's just more dramatic.
It still sucks, but it's nice. It's nice.
I don't. They have that game, and they can keep it. They can keep it.
I'd be more interested to see what happens after they release the patch, and if anyone out there decides to run said test again. And if the Xbox One wins, fine. But I'll still say it's because they decided to go with a parity clause when they released the fucking game. Because they said they want this game to be the same across all platforms. And that's fucking retarded. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, I understand wanting to have the same basic experience, but in terms of like the core of like what's actually happening on screen and with the character models and with it just irks me a bit. But
I love where they wanted to go with it, but if it fails in that rate, I mean, fix it before you release it.
Yeah.
But then there wouldn't be an Assassin's Creed this holiday.
Oh wait, there was already one on last gen. Oh.
And there's not a Battlefield this fall either because they decided not to fuck up like last year.
Which is a smart thing. Very smart. I mean, I don't think they need to release a Battlefield this year at all.
I also really don't think we should have yearly releases of any game, but that's just me.
I agree.
Well, yeah.
Because if you're developing a game in a year, like you're not devoting enough resources to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree with that as well.
Shout out for Red Dead Redemption 2 next year.
Wait, has that been confirmed?
From what I've read.
What?
And from what I said, I don't know how long ago, I called that shit. I'm still saying it. I called it on here somewhere.
You did. I remember that. I'm ready for that. And with that, actually, this leads us to our final topic of the night. We're doing this on a Friday night versus a Sunday afternoon. So this is a slightly different schedule. Yeah, right.
Football.
Many releases are getting overshadowed by the huge blockbuster releases. What will those games be? And do you think publishers will catch on to finally staggering releases?
I don't think they will. But I think some games like... I was going to say Persona Q, but that's going to sell to the same audience no matter what because they know about it. But there are some smaller games that are definitely sort of falling under the radar. Mm-hmm. And those ones might get staggered, but that's really not going to solve the problem.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, I still have the issue where I get pissed off in like July when I actually have free time and nothing's coming out that I want to play.
It's your backlog time. That's before August and September.
Yeah, but by the time it's backlog, like I don't care about it anymore. It's just like when you go to, like when I used to go to the bookstore and buy like 4 books. I'd be really excited about them all. I'd read one, and then the rest would just sit on my shelf.
I should just sit there. It's like when I used to rent
not
like
new
3
and shiny.
movies from Netflix. Did the same thing.
Exactly.
It's like you watch one, and it's like, screw it.
Hey, I can see Kevin now.
But I'll give a shout out to something else I read recently, where games like Child of Light, which came out, and it was one of those smaller titles, didn't do too well. Not everyone liked it.
I love that.
But I loved it. I think you loved it with too, Will.
Yep.
But it did well enough that they still want to make more titles like that. If not necessarily a sequel, but other more indies or exclusives that are more fine-tuned and worked over a little bit of time to give you something that's worth the experience, that's worth that $15 or $20. And I still support it. Right now it's not where it needs to be because we got free ones coming at us left and right, and we have other games that were made in the NES and SNES days that look next gen-ish, and it's going to get lost among the fray. I mean, it's going to get lost among all the other big name titles until something stands out or something genuine comes along.
Right. Yeah, it's. I would hope somewhere down the line of marketing and setting budgets and setting project plans. My video just magically turned off.
Yep. Yes, it did.
I didn't press anything. It just does these things sometimes, I guess.
Skype. Mine just turned off too.
Yeah, I just saw that yours just turned off. So Skype, you're gonna get some raving reviews from me tonight.
I love that.
I didn't do anything.
I love that. How would you rate this call after every single time it cuts out?
Terribly. Terribly.
I think
1 out of 5
once
stars.
I've given it above 3 stars. Once.
Oh my god. And the thing is, they gave, like, I originally paid for premium, and then they gave me like a year of premium free, probably because they found out that this shit was fucking terrible. It's okay. It's not so terrible. We can still have video chats most of the time, and it'll still work. It's just right now it doesn't want to do its thing. Anyway, I would hope somewhere down the line of the line of command that there will be someone thinking to themselves, if we release this game in November alongside all these other 30 plus fucking small to large releases, we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot because this is a game that is just going to get ignored. It's going to get completely ignored. If they release the game anywhere between March and July or August, they will have, especially if the game is good, they'll have more hype and they'll have more chances of having a game that people will pick up from then and through the holiday season. Like, people are still picking up Titanfall. The game came out in March.
Yep.
Like, they were smart to not release that around launch time.
Like, movie studios do it. I don't know why games don't. I know that they want people to pick their shit up for the holidays, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird with our cycle. It goes, late February, maybe March or April.
March.
Very slim summer pickings. Then into late August, September. October, a couple hits.
And then
November's
November.
the big month. November's the big month, and then you repeat the cycle.
Yeah. And it's like they don't like we've seen so many good games just get completely
it's also weird too, because like a lot of that is so that parents pick up these games for their kids, but like I know that a lot of parents will go to the store, and if the game isn't out yet because they're doing their shopping in like early November, like a lot of people do, they just won't buy it. They'll buy something else.
Or some people do their shopping earlier than November.
Yeah. Well, the parent is more like, I don't want to reserve something that's not out yet, because if it doesn't get there on the day, even if it does get there technically before the day of said holiday or birthday, whatever, they want a product. They want a physical something in their hand.
Yeah.
And it limits the casual consumer more than the progressive one.
And not only that, too, is that the games that come out right away, like Halo Master Chief Collection, for example, just released. Mm-hmm. People thinking about picking that game up will read about it and say, oh, it has all these matchmaking issues. I'm not going to pick it up. And so they'll go through the entire holiday season without ever picking it up. And then next year, something else comes along that just completely distracts them.
And in terms of, like, adults buying games for themselves, so games that are clearly marketed towards adults, like, it doesn't make sense either, because I'm less likely to pick a game up for myself this time because I'm buying other people lots of presents.
Right. Right. I
don't get it.
I just want to, like slap him on the hand, like, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop.
Well, I still wanted to punch every developer in the face that says, "Let's remake this game." Like, no, give me a new game. I'd still vote for you, Kev. If you ran, I would vote for you to make sure that shit doesn't happen.
Despite loving GTA 5.
Which is, I know, damn it. Which is going to be my plug at the end of the podcast. I'm going to wait to say it.
Yeah, I think I might play Dragon Age. I might play. I don't even. There's so many games to fucking play right now.
If you want to do Dragon Age Online, it was having some either matchmaking or server issues earlier, but they seem to be better.
All right, let's try that.
Cool. You need a party of 4, and you need one of each class, so we'll have to talk about that. But we'll talk about that when we're off the call.
The fuck? They don't let you matchmake with other random people?
No, you do. But like in order to get everything, you need at least one of each of the 3 main classes.
Okay.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, that could work.
Because like rogues pick locks, wizards get rid of magical barriers, and warriors kick down walls.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to the podcast? This was fucking a lot of fun.
Nope. Nothing.
I'm making my lollipop right now.
I got one. Well, 2. That, yes, well, I don't want you to remake every fucking game you've already made. Please. If. This is the one exception recently. Mm-hmm. Because The Last of Us didn't count. As nice and as pretty as that was, and as fun as it was, and as smooth as it was, thank you. Mm-hmm. It's still the same game.
Yep.
It's still the same, yeah.
And honestly, it looked really good to start. So
it looks
amazing
not
to start. That much better. It's really not that much better.
But with Grand Theft Auto 5, and I've been debating to like actually talk about this. Like, I've never had any game do what they did with first-person mode to make me appreciate it for a brand new experience. And saying this as a major fan of Far Cry 3 that was eagerly waiting for Far Cry 4, I've been drawn time and time again to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bugged the shit out of me because I'll be thinking about it. Like, even last night, and I tried to share the video with you guys, but I was playing first person. I just got done with the mission with Michael. Mm-hmm. And in this view, I'm like talking on my phone, but I'm looking up this tower in the distance, which you don't normally do if you're in third person. You're just walking around and driving around, but I'm observing the scenery around me.
Right.
And I'm walking up and I'm talking to Set whatever. And I look to my left and you see the car your character has.
Right.
And I look straight in front of me and I see the sports car. I'm like, I want that. So of course you just jump in, but in first person mode, you literally you jump in that car and you knock that bitch out and you take that. And just flipping through the radio.
The vehicle.
Yeah, but you're behind the dash and you have your RPMs and your speedometer going and you're talking on your phone, but your phone's in front of you. Like you're browsing text messages and you're scrolling through them while driving, like you're doing in real life.
Right. And
then even when you're on the phone with your psychiatrist, he's coming out of your controller while your voice of your character is coming out on the screen.
Yeah.
So you're actively just engaged the entire time.
Yeah.
But while I'm doing this, I'm doing 90, 100 plus through the cities and into oncoming traffic. I don't care. I'm mounting the curb. And at the end of this, when I get to my destination, I get out of my car and I just look at my car again in first person, and there's not a scratch on her.
Nice.
And it's this complete sense of just diving into the game again that I've never had. But shout out to Rockstar. Please include this in every motherfucking GTA you have in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing. It is amazing.
I think for GTA 5 too, in addition to a new mode, I think the reason why that re-release makes more sense than a lot of others too is that on last gen, it looked like shit a lot of the time because there was it's a massive game. Quite frequently there's 100 different moving parts on screen at once. So the last gen consoles just couldn't handle it. So that one actually does make some sense to re-release.
I mean, all things considered, on the consoles that are 7 years old, it looked pretty good for what it was.
That's what I'm saying. But it also didn't look it looked pretty good when you took into account how much was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you could forgive the jagged edges, and you could forgive the weird haziness sometimes.
Aliasing issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, it's nice to... So that one is actually one that I don't hate as much as others.
Before we leave, I did want to say one thing that bothers me about it. Is that when you pop the game in, it has an update that you have to update, install, or whatever, and then it installs the game or whatever. And then you get in, and just like last gen, in order to install the game, you have to sit there and wait for it to do an in-game installation while you're in the game. I don't like that. It should have embraced the idea of what the PlayStation 4 is capable of doing on its own without going into the Grand Theft Auto to do that, because I could have been doing other stuff while I was installing.
Other games are still like that. I mean,
Yeah.
What
I
games?
remember that. Well, when I got Grand Theft Auto 5, I came home because I picked up Far Cry 4 at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And the first game I popped in was GTA 5 because I knew it's going to be at least a gig of data it has to install. It's going to be a minute.
Right.
Plus, if you look at the back, it's like 50 or 55 gigs of actual game data it has to go through.
Right.
So I popped it in, and it said like 45 minutes to an hour I'd be done. But I was on lunch. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Leave my system on, and it'll turn off automatically after 2 hours or so. Be good.
In
So
theory.
I did that, came home. Game was ready to go as soon as I came home. Although, no. Yeah, I'll say this. Grand Theft Auto 5 is ready to go. When I plugged Far Cry 4 in, at first it didn't say an update. So I quit and came back later. When I came back later, it actually had an update it had to run. And I had to wait another 20, 30 minutes. But the same could be said for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare when I had to reinstall that after they had day one launch issues with digital copies. Because when I reinstalled it, when it said it was ready to go, I could not play single player or multiplayer. Single player for at least 30 to 45 minutes, multiplayer for an hour and a half to 2 hours, until it was done downloading what it needed to fucking do.
Wow, that's fucking annoying.
I know, because I had to wait all day.
But what I was referring to earlier was like how in the in-game you have to install it as well.
Yeah, you still have to wait for it. You still got to wait till it's done installing what it needs to before you can run the game. So that whole like 5 minutes or so that you think it's ready, it's not really ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really strange because I've played a lot of other games that like it would do the first initial install of a few things and then you could jump in and start playing.
Some games, yeah. Other games, no. It's. Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on the game too.
And it all depends on it depends on what's being installed. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, thank you guys for being excellent part of this Black Only podcast session.
You forgot to mention Pokemon earlier for releases.
Oh,
that
Pokemon
That's true.
Omega Red and
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
there we go.
Yeah.
And they may be, biggest holiday release on 3DS. So
That is true. I did not mention those. I should probably add them to the agenda so that people
go get your Pokies and your Mons.
Gotta catch them all.
Pokemon Omega Ruby,
Alpha Sapphire.
Ruby Alpha Sapphire. How did those games? Because those are remakes of Red and Blue, right?
No, the
believe so,
remake
yes.
of Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh,
Thank you.
duh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been on Pokemon for a while.
Yeah.
Ruby and Sapphire haven't been re-released before. All of the other generations have been at this point, because every other year they re-release an old generation. But this is like this is their first re-release that hasn't just been upgraded like graphically. It's the first one that's been upgraded to like X and Y standards from last year, so that it's like fully 3D, and it has not just sprites that move a little, but actual moves and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, check out Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and make sure you guys are following these two on social medias.
Meads.
And there should be a link to the 1KK's YouTube channel as well on the video if you guys are watching the YouTube video. If you're listening on iTunes, thank you for listening on iTunes. And you are appreciated beyond belief. I love that there are so many people still watching this podcast and listening to it, and
We love you.
We love you. We're going to continue growing. We're going to continue adding different people to the podcast. We have a couple of people slated for our next few ones, and I'm just really happy that I started doing these podcasts.
Yep.
Yeah,
It is fun.
yeah, it's good times.
I like that we've got a little community now too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's got the Black-owned community. It's pretty.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys. My friend list has grown a lot. Like, I've gone over 20 friends some nights. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Did not used to have that much.
yeah. There's the list of friend requests on both Xbox Live and PlayStation have expanded. I get friend requests from people sometimes that I have no idea who they are. And, they ask me for like their real name requests. I'm like, dude, who are you? I have no idea who you. Like, give me some context as to who you are. Are you one of my listeners, or are you just like someone who saw me on Call of Duty or something? Like, what's up? So if you,
I hardly ever get friend requests. It makes me sad.
well,
So, people, send me friend requests. Say that you listen or watch this, and send me friend requests. I'm the
His
1KK.
his screen name is literally listed right below his face.
It's on.
1KK.
That's my screen name on PS4 or Wii U. Find me. We'll hang. We'll play. I don't play Wii U that much, but when I do, we'll
Cap,
play.
there was that time we were playing Destiny, and that guy just jumped in. I had no idea who he was, and he just jumped in. He was from Australia, I think.
He's on my friend list now, but I don't think he's been online since then.
Oh, that's sad. He was really cool.
Yep.
We were playing Destiny together, and we were just talking about like some of the things that they were changing and adding to it. And someone just joined. He wasn't even on my friends list. He just joined the party. He just assumed that we were on, and he was like,
Nice.
"Hey, I saw you guys on YouTube, and I thought it would be really cool to kind of play with you guys." I was like, "That's awesome
Word.
of you. Of course, let's play. Absolutely." So, guys, if you send us friend requests or try to jump into our session, please give us context and please have your microphone on.
Yep.
Because again, I just get random people doing stuff like that, and so anyway, game on. Jay blazed out and enjoy my fluffy hat.
Love.